together for our president, Dr. Jerome Swartz.
Lift up the boards. Swartz 2024.
Ara, are you well? You know the story. Ara, are you well? All right. I'm so glad to be with you. I'm so glad to see you guys. One more time. Ara, are you well? All right. You may be seated. Thank you. So glad to see all of you right to the back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, as I was coming here, they told me that the DA tried to hijack the event. They were closing all the roads from the back to the front. Varkensvlei is closed. They closed Eisleben. So they tried to hijack the event. Let me say to you, nobody can hijack Ara. Today is Workers' Day, but there's no work. I say today there's Workers' Day. The president is addressing the workers here at Athlone Stadium. But there's no work on Workers' Day. It is a big joke. And so I want to say this to you. Welcome to this manifesto once again. You know, I've been doing manifesto talks now across South Africa. It has been fantastic. I can tell you in Durban, Mpumalanga, I'm just giving you a picture of what's happening all around. People are hungry for Ara. You know, they hung a banner like this up in Free State. A lady that was 97 started to cry. She wept her tears and she said, "Thank you, there's a different party that's come around." 97 years old. They sent me her ID. They showed me how this woman, now she went to hospital. Sy sê, as ek uitkom, hulle moet die papiere bring, ek vote vir Ara. She was a member of the ANC. She is now completely 150% Ara. Let me say this to you. We went to Limpopo. There was a woman, she killed her 4 children. She killed herself. They asked, what is the problem? She wrote a letter. She says, because I cannot live in poverty like this any longer. I cannot let my children suffer like this. The poverty is real. The poverty is in the air. The poverty is on the ground if we don't change South Africa. Now let me say this to you before I begin to talk to you about the manifesto. South Africa is the most unequal nation on the face of the earth. When I say that, I mean it's unequal, it's a generational problem. Your generation before this had no money. The generation before that generation had no finance. It's a generational interlinked with each other. It is so bad that when somebody steals a loaf of bread, they go to jail for 6 months. When the president steals $4 million, the person that found the money in the couch, the domestic worker, goes to jail. And the president that stole $6 million, almost 59 million rand, is scot-free. This is the most wicked leadership we have in South Africa. Right from the top, we got wicked leaders. I believe firmly that most of the parliamentarians belong in jail. You didn't hear what I said? More than 50% belong in jail. Because when you sit in parliament, you are contributing to the joblessness. You're contributing to the poverty in South Africa. We are the most unequal nation on the face of the earth. Cape Town, they say, is the most well-run province. They even have banners. Ek is so geskok. A banner in Eastern Cape. A banner in the Western Cape. There's a banner. It says, Cape Town is the most well-run province. In KZN, there's a banner. Cape Town is the most well-run province. Jy kan mos nie so ver lieg nie. Jy lieg van hier tot in KZN toe. It is a shock. I'm in KZN, I see banners, every pole from the airport to the venue. We drove 50 kilometers met een ou se gesig op. Hy lyk so geel en groen. Asof nie weet wie is die leader van die ANC nie. We got 7.2 million people that are jobless. 7.2 million people that are jobless. I'm going to say something shocking to you. I'm going to say something today very shocking to you. Can I say it? Can I say it? I met groups that you will not sit with. I met groups that you may not like. I don't agree with everybody. But everybody I meet with want to shake hands and say, we want South Africa to be restored. I don't want to mention the names of the groups here. It will shock you. It will shock you. It will hurt you if I mention the names of the groups. But they shake my hand and I tell them straight on, I say, I don't agree with what you agree. I don't agree with what you say. But what happens, they shake my hand with tears and they say, Dr. Swartz, we want South Africa to be restored. Now let me say this to you. Before I tell you the manifesto, because it's only really 5 points South Africa need. We don't have 30 points like the EFF that will never come to pass. We don't have a manifesto that looks like a telephone book that the ANC has written out. They had 30 years to make the telephone book a reality. The telephone book is outdated by now. They've got the smartest manifesto, but nothing will happen. 30 years of proving nothing will happen. Down the road here, they tell me in Mondale, opposite Mondale School, the leader of the ghettos. The DA came, they call it the White House. The DA came and fixed the house up, painted the house, revamped the house, the leader of the ghettos. 4 houses apart after that, you get an old Tanny's house that has been burned down, broken. The DA never went there. If we tolerate the DA, if we tolerate the ANC, if we tolerate any other party that doesn't want to restore South Africa, you don't belong in South Africa. They don't belong in South Africa. Cyril must pack his bags and leave. He must go live by his son there in Tanzania, wherever the son is living. Now let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. Our manifesto is only 8 points. Why 8 points? Because the premier in the Western Cape cannot even fulfill one of his 10 points. Hy het gaan breek en sê in 2019 he will fix Praza. Nothing has happened. He has said we will create 500,000 jobs. 500,000 jobs within, what I can say, 5 years. Still nothing has happened. Well, they do brag about jobs. They say they've done 300,000 jobs. Jy weet wat 'n soort job is daai? Pad skoon vee is mos nou 'n job. Ons kinders van 10 jaar oud kan dit doen. But our grannies and aunties are forced to go and participate and do that job in a shameful manner for 150 rand a day. That is despicable in Western Cape. It is the most ugliest thing in the Western Cape. And then you want to brag, South Africa, Western Cape is the best run province. Let me say this to you. Our manifesto goes like this. Very simple. Number one, we want to bring jobs to South Africa. We want to, when we said jobs, we said 2 million jobs to say this. So the ANC said, okay, the DA said, let's also do 2 million jobs. I don't know if our phones was bugged or they were listening to us. I won't be surprised. And then the ANC said 2 million jobs. Then we said, don't worry, we'll make it 3 million jobs. Then I was in Durban, and then the ANC said, no, they will make 7 million jobs. And these jobs will all come through the army. So they send all applications to everybody in Durban. 7 million applications to the army. Now, if you know, if we have 7 million people in the army, we'll be bigger than China. We'll be bigger than the USA. We'll have 7 million jobs. We have so much jobs, we can guard Mars. You didn't hear what I said. We will have so many jobs, we can send them to the moon. It's a joke. So we are saying 3 million jobs, and you ask the question, how do you start 3 million jobs? It's very easy. It's very easy. You go to Northwest, there's more unemployed than people that has jobs. You go to Limpopo, the same thing. There's more unemployed than people that has jobs. How easy it is to start jobs. Number one, can I tell you? Can I tell you? Do you want to know? Ara, do you want to know? Ara, do you want to know? Can I tell you? First of all, the first thing to do, if you have in other words, to have jobs, you need business. It's very easy. It's actually very easy. There are close to 2,200 businesses for sale in South Africa. The question is, how come the government of South Africa, with all its resources, with all its business development finance, with all the cedar finance, all the microfinance, why could they not spend 3.2 billion to buy 2,200 businesses that are closing down? The reason is very easy, because they do not have the wit and they're not smart. They don't have the wit and they're not smart. That will give us 450,000 jobs within 6 months. You didn't hear Ara, you didn't hear what I said. It will give us 480,000 jobs within 3 to 6 months. It is an instant plan. How do I create 200,000 jobs with additional 300,000? If you add the 400,000 up together, we're close to 1 million jobs. That's also very easy. This weekend, I went to a place called Swartz. Swartz. Say with me, Swartz. Swartz. I Swartz for help. Swartz. There are 500, you don't know this, there are 552 mines operational in South Africa. 2,000 mines are still have to go into operation. Taking 3 mines, you would employ 200,000 in operation, another 300,000 jobs in processing. There is 500,000 jobs. That is one of the minor plans of ARA number 1 and number 2. Aren't you excited for ARA? We will immediately, when ARA comes to power, we'll stop all the mining rights that's illegally sold, given to foreigners. How can foreigners, we were in Swartz. Swartz is a good place to send all criminals. As a plek wat dor is. Hulle sal Swartz en Swartfontein. We've got a lot of comments in front here. Somebody shout, send for Steve Cyril soon too. Swartfontein is not a place for people that has a nice car. It's not a place for people that have money in the bank. Swartfontein is somebody that has nothing and less than nothing. Swartfontein, they give them people a taxi to Springbok, cost them 450 from their pension. When they calculate 450 to Springbok to buy food and 450 back, that is 900 rand. With electricity, so they got 400 rand to spend. Everybody is thin, dun. An old man stood up yesterday with me. He said, "You can see no dun is ons. Want ons het nie baie om te eet nie." Dis Swartfontein. There are so many places like Swartfontein that need jobs. All are crying jobs, jobs. That's why you'll see on our banner, jobs first. If you sort out jobs, you sort out crime. If you sort out jobs, you sort out pension. If you sort out jobs, you sort out medicine. If you sort out jobs, you can the grannies can pay for education. They can pay for school fees with the jobs. Are you still here? Give me 5 more minutes and I'm finished. 5 more minutes. Is that okay with you? The next big problem is farms. Food. Food. Costs. Costs. I heard some ridiculous statement the other day. Miskien sal jy nie verstaan nie, maar ek maar soos jy van verstaan. They tell me inflation is at 4%. Ek het amper afgeval van my stoel van lag. Jy het nie gehoor nie, ek het koffie in my hand gehad. Ek het amper af van my stoel geval van lag. Ek het amper verkoue gekry van lag. Ek het so die mense, ek sê die Here weet, ons kan mos nie so lieg in die dag nie. Inflation is the cost of goods. Hy says 4%. Inflation in this country is more like 30%. Jy kan mos nie so blind loop nie. Food in our country is bad. I went to Johannesburg. I passed Boksburg. Ek het so my amper verlam geskrik. Vir die eerste keer sien ek mielies. Jy hoor nie van my, ek sien mielies. So vir 3 kilometer sê ek mielies. Ek kan nie, ek moet my handdoek uit, my sakdoek uitgehaal het en my kop afgevuur het van shock. Because in South Africa we don't have farms. Our farmers are gone. We had 300,000 farmers before. Before 1994, we had 300,000 farmers. Today, we got less than 50,000 operational farmers. Al die boetjies wat jy eet, kom van Namibia af. All your potatoes come from India. Your Mr. Chips. Your chips cut into wedges all from India. I won't be surprised you turn into Indians in 6 months' time. We have no farmers. We have no farmers. And whatever you see in Varkensvlei over here, they grow lettuce and tomatoes. And by the time it comes to the shop, it's sold off to Britain. What you get is leftovers. If you ever buy grapes in South Africa, it's not even A grade. It's not B grade. It's something like D grade. It is ungodly. It is not right. Ada, are you hearing me, Ada? So we'll deal with farms in South Africa. Farmer education. There's only one little farm that I saw with my own eyes. That little farm is in Graafrenet. Wie jy om Graafrenet te speel? Ek het hom gesien, toe vergiet ek die naam. In Graafrenet, as 'n klein plekkie, an agricultural farm. Weet jy hoe die farm, die plaas, die college, hy's toe. I thought I could go there and get a degree in farming. I was so shocked, it was closed, no entrance. This is our farming situation in South Africa. Are you still here? We got to pull South Africa right. Say I must pull South Africa right. Say that I must pull South Africa right. Say South Africa needs restoration. The next issue, we got an education problem. Massive education problem. Give me 3 minutes. Education problem. An education problem. We have dumped our education, our syllabus. Do you know that Eastern Cape was the number 1 for education in South Africa? As jy nie die wil hoor nie, you'll believe everything that DA gives you as a tablet and a pill. Jy sal hom opsluk, dink jy hulle praat die waarheid. Hulle lieg aan mekaar. White lies. DA lies. I'm not ashamed to tell you because it's a fact. Eastern Cape was the number 1 place for education. Forget about UCT. UCT now is 183 in the world. The education standard has dropped so much. We have dropped our syllabus. We go to every country to see what syllabus we can pick up for free. South Africa was once amongst the best. Let me show you how bad our education is. When children do maths lit today, I heard the Minister of Education say how good we had a good pass rate. 84%. First time in history. Maar as jy uitvind hoe tot 84% gekry, dan moet ons weer gaan bid as 'n Here help ons. Ons verstaan nie die punte nie. They passed on maths lit. Weet jy wat is maths lit? Weet jy wat is maths lit? Maths lit is die. Hulle sê hoeveel is 1 plus 1? Is 2. Maths lit skryf sy nie, is 2 nie. Wat jy gehoor het, die ou sê is 2, hy skryf sy af. Ek het gehoor, het is 2. Maths lit is when you read the clock. Then you ask them a trick question. Put for me in words, it's 3 o'clock. That is maths lit. The most ridiculous education you can find in South Africa. Let me tell you something. Your children are trained to read an exam paper. They are studying for the exam paper, they write an exam. This is the process. What we call is factory schools. A what? Factory schools. We got a factory schools. We inherited a factory school system from the Germans, and the Germans sold it to the apartheid government. You got secondary education. If you go up there in Constantia, they go to high school, but you get secondary education. So they call it. So we call it factory schools. So when a child goes to school, he learns something, he writes an exam, and then he learns something, he writes an exam, he goes to a textbook. He goes to matric, he learns something, he goes to the textbook and writes the exam. When he goes to work, what can he do? He can hear something, write an exam and a textbook. That is he's qualified for. He's only qualified to read a textbook and write an exam. The children cannot even fix a light bulb. Where is robotics in the school? Where do we teach children how to do farming in the school? How do we train our children? We look at our shoes, we throw it away. They don't know how to fix a sole in a shoe. You look for a plumber today, you've got to look on internet. A plumber soos skaars, soos hoendertande. As soos skaars, ek het lank as 'n hoender gesien ook nog. Are you still here? Where our educational system will change from grade 8, where children will learn a skill. They will learn how to bake. They will learn how to fix electronics. They will learn how to do engineering. When they come out of matric, they will be ready for a job. Now, if you don't know this, we last year to break thy minister, everything what's in I'm blade or shade. Blades in Monday or shady is a Monday. Hy sê stomblade skree man die voor. He said there was 900,000 people that qualified out of matric. Our unemployment rate is 7.2 million. It has gone up with another million. So we can say we got close to 8 million unemployed people because our children cannot get education. Only 125,000 kids across South Africa get an application in university. Are you still here? Are you still here? There's only 400,000 that is at UNISA right now. And most of the students are not active in UNISA right now. Are you still here? We'll change our education system. The last one, let me talk to you about this. Our crime, we will deal with crime harshly. Have you ever heard of the POCA Act? The POCA Act. Say POCA. Say POCA. The POCA Act is called the Prevention Against Criminal Activity. POCA Act has to be thrown into the and die vullisblik moet gegooi word. Because it's so lenient. As if you do a criminal act, you will get 6 years to 8 years. And the other, if you are a gangster, you'll get minimum 20 years. I can tell you now, if you kill somebody, the death penalty will come back. If you rape somebody, you'll see the death penalty. If you're a pedophile, you'll see the death penalty. You didn't hear what I said, because when I say those things, people tend to get nervous. Because there might be rapists amongst us. Let me tell you something. Whether you, whatever party, any political party you are, if you're a murderer and ARA is in power, murderers, hy gaan nie hang nie. Hy gaan gou dood. And I will be sitting there myself. I'll be sitting there while they do the first act. You didn't hear what I said. I will not close my eyes. I won't even shed a tear. If you rape somebody, you take somebody's future away from the person. Somebody's destiny you rob somebody from. Somebody's children, a girl that is raped is not easily fixed. A girl that goes through abuse is not easily fixed. Her future is destroyed. How can we have a society that's so liberal? When somebody rapes somebody, they say, oh, it's a mistake. What a mistake. We got a mistake for a government. We got a mistake for everything in South Africa. Are you hearing me this morning? I am desperate to see South Africa change. I'm desperate to see South Africa being restored. I am desperate to see our children coming and doing something in their life. I am desperate to see business excel. I am desperate to see our economy change. Shout Ara! One last thing. Ek het so baie om te praat. Maar die is ons manifesto. Die is ons manifesto. Jobs, number 1. Number 2, money for all. That is the economy. That's the economy, to turn the economy around. Number 3 is to fix Eskom. Eskom is one of, hey, die lig is nou aan, ek sê vir jou. Die lig is skyn mooi. Eskom lag vir julle, his lig is aan. It is shocking, the same Cyril Ramaphosa, luister vir my, same Cyril Ramaphosa. In 2013, they put him on the Eskom board to fix Eskom. When he became president, he said Eskom will be, that was the first time, 6 months. This is the same guy. And then he had to employ another person, a minister of electricity. No, that is a scandal. That's a shock. I was in Mpumalanga. I saw the mines. I saw the power stations. I saw the coal trucks going. The coal trucks never went to Eskom. It passed Eskom. It went to the border because government makes more money on selling our coal than burning the coal. Number 4 is food security. Number 5 is education. Number 6 is crime. En if you vandag sê, het gaat woes wees in Suid-Afrika. Het gaat woes wees in Suid-Afrika. We're going to use something called a block system. A what system? As your auntie en jou ma, hy weet jy, die kind is 'n gangster. Auntie en ma, jy betal nou wel kyk toe gaan. Because you're an accomplice to crime. By housing a criminal, you're an accomplice. Let me say something on pension. And then I'm finished. Let me say something on pension as ek praat over pension. Die ou mense, ek weet julle gaan nie kyk by hulle nie. Maar die ou mense begin te juig. Die ou mense, die ou wat krippel is, skielik hardloop hy. At the moment, we got 3.2 million pensioners on living on 2,200. There's a total of 6 million pensioners. But 3 million pensioners get 2,200 or 2,100. Under ARA, the pension is going to be shifted to 7,500. Voor jy begin bid en skree, luister gou. Jou volgende vraag moet wees, waar en hoe? Ek gaan vir jou vra vir die ANC, hoe en waar is ons geld? Where is the 500 billion that was stolen during COVID? Let's make it very easy. Let's break it down. Let's break it down very easy. Very easy. Very easy. Very easy. Because to get the money is only 280 billion for the year to spend on pension. You must ask yourself, why do you want to spend on pension? Why do you want to take 7,500 on pension? Het jy nou gevoel die lig raak sommer koeler nou? Het jy nou gevoel die son is skielik weg? Het jy gevoel? Jy voel nou, jy lê by die beach nou, want ons praat oor geld. You ask yourself the question, why 7,500 for pensioners? Number 1, a pensioner does not spend his money in England. He spends his money in South Africa. Number 2, a pensioner normally, their house, hy het nie baie skuld nie. Hy wil nie 'n kar koop nie. He wants to actually build his area. So number 2, he'll spend it in his own house. Number 3, a pensioner normally looks after children, grandchildren, klein kinders. En hy mommy los die kinders by ouma. Ouma voed vir almal met 2,200 rand. When they got 7,500, let me tell you, now Oma can look after the children, pay for the children's fees, help pay for the school fees, because Oma is stable. Have you heard this, Ada? The 4th thing, why do you give pensioners? Because pensioners will spend their money at the mall. When they spend money at the mall, het gesien maandag tot Vrydag as die mall lieg in die oggende. Die ou wat die til werk, maak sy nal skoon. Hulle gaan toilet toe heel dag en dan 5 o'clock kom hulle weer werk toe. Want die winkel is stil in die oggende. More pensioners will go to the shop. When they go to the shop, there'll be need for more goods. When there's need for more goods, more factories will be built. When there's more factories built, there's a demand on goods. We'll need more machinery. When we need more machinery, we'll need more laborers. When you have more laborers, you got more pay. When you have more pay, the economy turns. Ada maksua. That's an ada turn. Ada turn. Now you ask yourself, where do you get the money? All right. Very easy. We'll get the money without even taking from the budget. Jy het gehoor nie. Ons kan mos nie so slim wees nie. Jy het gehoor nie, ons kan nie so slim wees nie. We'll take the money out without touching the budget. Want die budget is klaar so min. Number 1. Ek gaan jou alles vertel, want ek weet nie wie gaan vir die DAD sê nie. Jy kan nie hoor wat ek sê. Ek weet nie wie gaan vir die DAD sê nie. Sy sê vir JP, sê Jy sê vir Helen, en Helen sê vir die ander klong, was dit dan 'n skiefus. Ek praat van eerste. We have a nickname for him called Rusty. You ask yourself, this is one of the issues. I'll just give you one idea. Is it okay? One idea. Max, it's an araton, Max. Net 1 punt. Hoeveel keer speel die mense lotto? How many times do they pull money from the lotto? Every Wednesday? Every Friday? Or is it every day? Sorry, every day. Now listen, all gambling associations know, to give you $1 million, they must make 20 million. To give you 3 million, they made 90 million. For the gambling situation, the gambling group, to give 30 million to somebody, they made $1 billion already that week. Now my question is, where is the money? They say they give it to NPOs and NGOs and PGOs and weet jy wat only. Hy mense lieg. The money disappears into somebody's hands and they say they got auditors. The auditors must be audited. Because the auditor will only do an audit because he knows he needs the money for next week as well. He wants his company name and brand to be on top. So the auditors are net so lieg and to have a clean audit. As jy met my so ver. I showed you one way to get about $1 billion a week to give it to pensioners. Are you still here? I showed you how to get $1 billion a week from a lot of money. $1 billion a week. You times it by 4. It's $4 billion for the month. You times it by 12, you got $48 billion for the year. Are you still here? We are short about 200 billion still. Ek gaan julle wys nou wat om te kry nie, want ek weet nie wie gaan dit slim maak nie. Want more announce it there, we got a new plan. The ANC will say we got a new plan. Are you still here, Ada? Ada, are you still here? And lastly, I want to say, the Bella Bill Act Now you must understand this. You must understand. I got 1 minute left. I got 1 minute. Give me 1 minute left. The Bella Bill, when the parliamentarians signed it, when the parliamentarians signed it, when the parliamentarians signed it, they were not so smart because they themselves cannot come up with such ridiculousness. Because the Bella Bill talks to pedophiling. Vijay, what is pedophiling? Do you know what is pedophiling? Pedophiling is when they take a child below 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 years old to have sex with a child. The Bella Bill's aim is to make room for pedophiles. Where can your child at 5 years old experiment sexually and speel met himself? This is what your Bella Bill says. The Bella Bill was practiced in Atlantis in 2019 already. You're only hearing about it now. Everybody's shouting about the Bella Act and shouting about the Bella Act. Last year, October, it was signed already in. I opened my mouth about the Bella Act in December last year to spring al die political partye op Bella Bill. Hulle kan eens Bella speel. We will wipe Bella Bill out. You didn't hear me, Ara. And whether you like it or not, we'll bring God back to the schools. Whether you are a pagan or a non-religious person, we'll bring God back to schools. Want jy moet in iets glo. Because the fiber of any nation is a religion. If there's no religion, there's no culture. Hy weet nie wat om te doen nie. Hy maak homself dood, want jy weet nie hoekom hy daar is nie. The fiber of every nation, there must be a religion backbone to keep a family unit together. Before I go, let me say this to you. Nobody talks about family in South Africa. Not one political party. Not one political party talks about family. Not one. Not one. They only talk about money, jobs. The divorce rate is so high. Die mans maak die vroumense seer. Die kinders hardloop vir tik. Because the family unit is not strong. Mother and father don't like each other any longer. Social media has messed people up. Are you still here? I don't hear. Are you still here? The family unit is in a mess. Nobody speaks about it. Because when there's no family, you don't have a community. When you don't have a community, you don't have a nation. Right now, we're on the brink of not having a nation. On the brink of communities fighting with each other. Because the family unit is not standing together. Are you still here? Are you still here? Are we ready to fix South Africa? Are you ready to restore South Africa? I want you to stand. Are you ready to restore South Africa? Are you ready to fix South Africa? Are you ready?